Hello, good morning. How good to see you again. I am going to do a new series. It's going to be about autumn and winter and feeling well and not being depressed. And today will be about being able to wake up in the morning. And it will be a little bit different than the lives or the videos, the vlogs you've seen of me, because it won't be a balance. I will just advise you, and it's up to you to take action. So I won't be the one healing you. You are going to think yourself so worthy that you are going to take action to feel well this winter. Actually, the action you should have taken was this summer. Bit later. Now, I warned you somewhere along the way, but I guess not everybody heard it or not everybody listened. You were to take a lot of sun, and then you would have had a lot of vitamin D now, and you would have flown out of your bed easily, which for some of you is not the case at the moment. So I'll explain a bit how this works. I must thank my friend and colleague Henry Kooijman. He's a personal trainer and he is a business trainer, and we used to do trainings together with his wife Rolofke. And together we three made a lovely interview, and you can find it somewhere on my feed because it was not so long ago. They have migrated to Sweden with their 5 kids, and they're homeschooling, and they do online business. So if you want to be inspired, just have a peek at the video. You can also find it. No, it's a link in my feed. But he was asked by his followers, do you also have struggles? Because all the stories we get from you are so positive and you never seem to have struggles, only things to celebrate. And of course he has some struggles too, and he was very, very honest today, and he said, I have some trouble waking up. I've been working very hard my whole life. He just turned 41. And I woke up to alarm clocks and stood up very, very early. And I just feel I cannot or don't want to do it at this moment. So actually, when he made the video, I thought, oh, I must make a video for him and tell him what he can do so he can get up more easily. And then the feeling went away, and I thought, but it was a real good idea. And then later, the thought came, but Henry is not the only one. There are more people struggling to wake up. So all the pieces of the puzzle actually fell together. Yesterday I saw a post about a lady who dreamt about her grandmother who had a big puzzle, and the puzzle fell in two. And then she started walking during the day, and she found pieces of a puzzle on the ground. Yesterday I was in Sunje. I'm in Norway now, it's in the south, and I spoke a lovely lady, Monica Olsen, and she has a shop where they sell vitamins, and she told me how different it was in the Netherlands and in Norway to give vitamins, because there were very strong restrictions in Norway, and now luckily they are allowed to give vitamin D in high dosages. Because being up north here so much, many people lack vitamin D, cannot make dopamine, and are depressed. Later, more of this. And yesterday night I spoke to my friend Jeroen, and he talks about his father, and he said, yes, well, he's always he feels this melancholy, I don't know how melancholic he is, in autumn when the leaves start to fall. And just this morning when I wanted to make the video to Henry, I thought, oh, this is a series. Yes! I don't know what it's called yet, so it has no title, me saying it yet, but you'll find a title when you see it posted. So, we're going to start with waking up. For waking up, you need 3 very important things. You need a good biorhythm. So, for example, right now it's 11:15. And it must feel 11:15 to my body. When it feels much later or much earlier, I will not be on the right clock, which means that I won't wake up in the right time, or I wake up too early, or I wake up too late. People who have flown or who have traveled a lot, you call it jet lag. We're actually at the phase in October where the clock will be changed, and I made a lovely video about it once, and I'll put it in my feed when the day comes, when the weekend comes. So I don't think it's this weekend, but the weekend after, because there's a nice tapping procedure of Touch for Health on the ends or the beginning points of meridians, and you say the hour of the clock that you're on. It's very nice to reset yourself, but it's quite a procedure, and you have to do it for a day or two maybe, and every hour would be nice. I said there are 3 important things. Bioclock, you need to have cortisol, and cortisol is being made by the adrenals. And when you have experienced a lot of stress, or when you have been working very, very hard, working hard doesn't always mean stress. If you like your job, it doesn't give you stress, it gives you stress, which is a positive kind of stress, which actually motivates you to do more. But if you have been under a lot of stress and your survival system, fight, flight, freeze, has been on, you have been robbing yourself of the ingredients that you need to make cortisol. And when you do it for a very long time, first you get problems with your menstruation or with reproduction systems for men. Then you get very cold and a bit fatty and a bit slow, or you cannot focus, thyroid or ADHD, ADD, autism, and then you fall into burnout, because that's the empty adrenals, and after that you get depression. So if you recognize yourself in this, you can actually see where you are on the path of stress. If you're going in the direction of thyroid, kidney, depression, it's time to get activated, and only doing my tips won't help you. You really need a balance. You have to go to a therapist, you can go to one of my colleagues, you can come to me, but something needs to be done for you in order to have a good life and a healthy life and a happy life. And the third one is you need dopamine. And that is actually why in the summertime it's not such a problem for people to wake up. There's a lot of sun just already early in the morning, so very often your bio clock is okay. But dopamine is vitamin D dependent. So if your vitamin D didn't go up in the summer, now in autumn you have already used all your reserves, and you don't have the ingredients to make dopamine. You just miss out something and you cannot make it. And you have 2 hormones to keep you happy: serotonin, dopamine. And dopamine, if you don't have dopamine, it's very hard to be happy in the winter time and autumn, and even a part of fall. No, not fall, spring, sorry. So, you must know that all hormones are made of proteins, vitamins B, some minerals, some other vitamins like vitamin D. If you are a vegetarian, you probably miss some proteins, because some proteins are just not in vegetables. But there are very good supplements, usually in a big box, and you can make a protein shake. If you know from yourself that you're not eating enough proteins, but mostly carbs like bread and pasta and rice and cookies, then start using protein shakes, because they have all the different protein types in it. So you have power to do things, to get into the action. If you think, yes, well, I'm not eating very well, maybe think of a multivitamin. It has all the vitamins, and sometimes it has all the minerals in the right quantities, because vitamins not as much, but minerals very much, come in certain relationships to each other, and when they're off this relationship, they don't function well. They function against you. If you cannot wake up in the morning, you might really want to start taking vitamin D. My advice in this case to Henry, and I hope he watches this video, would be take vitamin D high, so 75 micrograms a day for at least 3 weeks, and then go over into 50, and add some vitamin C, 2, 3, 4,000 a day. Take it together at dinner because they help each other be active, and he needs actually B12. But it's something I tested. This is custom made. This doesn't mean that you need it. So if you want a custom made advice from me, I can test it for you. We can also go in the underlayer systems, because it's not only do you have all the ingredients, but if your stress is really, really high, you cannot activate your thyroid, and your thyroid makes something that's called L-Dopa, which is the protein to make dopamine. So it's not complicated, but it's all entangled. And just start by using the proteins, get a multi, and vitamin D if you have problems waking up. If you don't have problems waking up, this is not for you guys. Then you're probably okay. Then you probably eat well, your stress is well, and you have maybe a nice life to wake up to, because this is one of the things as well. If you hate your job, or you don't like your kids, or you don't like your wife, or whatever, or you don't like being lonely, why get out of bed? You need some internal motivation. So that's that. And what I wanted to say, the Indians they didn't have an alarm clock, but they would wake up on the right time, and they did it with water. So before going to bed, they would drink a certain amount of water, and this would mean that their bladder would be full at a certain time, say 6 o'clock. And then you have to get out of bed because you have to pee, and then you're awake. Now we have something very beautiful. Maybe at 6 o'clock it's not light yet, it's probably dark, especially after this weekend when we change the clock. No, that's wrong, I think. It will be longer light. Sorry. We have alarm clocks, or we have flashlights. Here there's a very thin area in the bone of the skull, and here is a piece of a brain that's called the glabella, the epiphyseum, or the pineal gland in English, and it's very sensitive to light. So when you wake up early in the morning because you put your alarm clock, or you drank a lot of water, and then you put on light here for half a minute or a minute, your bio clock will go on, and then you just say the time. So for example, it's 6 o'clock, or it's 7 o'clock, or it's 8 o'clock, but you say the time. Do this for a week or two, and then you'll be on the right time, and you know how to wake up, and your body knows what to do. So I think this was a little bit And if you think you have been very stressed, and this was another tip I wanted to say to Henry, it was quite something to leave the Netherlands and just go and start driving. And they actually went to Norway and were not let in. So they landed up in Sweden, and he felt very responsible for his family. They have sites, and they have business pages. I think they call themselves the Heroes Family, and you can follow them because it's very nice to see what they're doing. He has been under a lot of stress, and he felt very responsible. So my advice to him, but that's a personalized advice, if you have experienced a lot of stress, try to meditate for the coming next 3 weeks. Find a place, a moment during the day where you have like 20 minutes to half an hour for yourself. Tell your family that you won't be there. You'll be having time for yourself, which is very good to teach our children because they must learn to take care of themselves as well. And so half an hour for yourself. You can either be quiet and connect and pose a question and get answers and maybe write them down when you come out of it. Or if you're not so good at this yet, there are many guided meditations and you can do those. And enjoy really the calmness and the intense tranquility and the peace that you feel after your meditation. If you do this for 3 weeks, you reset your survival system. There are many more techniques to do that. I write about it in my books. You can find them on selfnizer.com. And this is all about you guys and me giving you loads and loads of energy and of information. And you pick out the berries or the cherries that are for you. And you start tweaking your life so it starts becoming better. So today was about waking up early or waking up at all. And there'll be some more topics about being a bit moody when the leaves start to fall, addiction, depression for the winter. But I don't know how the sequence will be. So tomorrow we'll see again. I wish you loads of love from Norway, and hope to see you soon. Please like or react or subscribe to my channel and share with as many people as you know that would like this information. Much love from Merel.